So, Season 5 ends tomorrow, and you know what that means? It's time to review it as we always do. This season has certainly been filled with collaborations and some decent updates. Obviously, this is how I personally feel about this season. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below on the season. If you are new, please feel free to subscribe and drop a like if you enjoy. My socials are linked down below. And as always, let's start with the Battle Pass. Alright, this Battle Pass is very forgettable. No, seriously, go figure, it's actually pretty bad. Reese is awful. Mancake, also awful. Maeve is Condor, pretty good. Menace is too. And Animate Girl, Lexa, shouldn't be in the game. Change my mind. And obviously, the best skin in the Battle Pass is Mando, without question. Like, it's not even, you can't compete with Mando when all the other skins in the Battle Pass are awful. You can't disagree with that. Maybe Lexa, because people like Lexa for some reason. I don't, I hate her. And we also had Baby Yoda as tier 100. Yes, we had a literal pet as tier 100. Seriously? Why? Also, a lot of edit styles were being used as filler as well in this Battle Pass. Looking at you, Maven Menace. This Battle Pass was a mess. 6 out of 10. Let's move on. Next, the rest of the update. It was alright. Yeah, that's fair. The whole 0 point middle of the map place turned to sand. Salty Towers is cool, I guess, but not as hype as Tilted or even Salty normally. Coliseum is alright, but not too great. Hunter's Haven has got to be one of the most forgettable locations in the game's existence. Same with Stealthy Stronghold. However, the new exotic weapons were cool and gave us a new rarity literally no one asked for. They could have just made them mythic, but it doesn't really matter. The NPCs are much better than henchmen, as they don't aimbot you unless your name is Ruckus or the Mandalorian. And I love the Mandalorian sniper. It is so good. I almost want to say underrated, as I don't actually see that many people talking about it. And half the time people don't even get it in the game. And finally, the new bounty feature is cool. It's a good way to find players. Overall, rest of the Season 5 launch gets a 7 out of 10. I think that's fair. 15.10 rolled around and we got the lever action rifle, aka the hunting rifle 2.0, aka why don't they just add back the hunting rifle, aka nobody asked for this. And I'll be honest, I thought it was alright at first. It dropped in green to purple rarities and did 50 plus damage with 9 shots. But it just makes me miss the hunting rifle. The hunting rifle was 10 times better. Like, can they please just bring it back in Season 6? But anyway, over time I realised this weapon wasn't that great, so it gets a 6 out of 10. Let's move on. Oh boy, 15.20 was a good one. We got the lever action shotgun and the dual rock dually exotic weapons. Let's start with the exotic pistols. They did 42 damage each and gave you the hop rock effect for like 2 whole seconds when you used them, and this made them alright for rotates, but you'd waste a lot of ammo. The pistols themselves are decent and actually quite fair and balanced. They're really good actually. Now that I think about it, they're pretty solid. Now, the lever action shotgun, aka the pump 2.0. This is just a fun weapon and very similar to the classic pump action shotgun. It drops in all rarities and go figure, it's actually pretty good. Just not as good as the pump shotgun. Overall, this update ain't that bad and gets the highest score so far with an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have the Christmas event, and it was quite good. Go figure, it was actually pretty decent. Not as good as last year, but still good and still fun. The planes returned to the game, but were honestly heavily nerfed to the point where if you boosted, it would waste too much of your fuel. We got challenges daily as always and got 2 free skins just like last year. This time we got Snow Mando and a Frost team leader, I believe her name is. I don't know, and I don't care that much. They are much better than last year's skins, at least. We got a lot of other free rewards on top of these skins, and it's just a fun event. It was good, but not as good as last year. 7 out of 10. I don't even know what I gave last year's score, and I'm not going to be bothered to check because my voice is awful in my old videos. Surprisingly, our next update wasn't 15.30, it was actually 15.21. We got Predator in Fortnite, and literally nobody asked. Another secret skin I couldn't care less about. Epic, can you please have an original secret skin? We haven't had one since season 1 of chapter 2. Please, it's not difficult. And Predator himself is just ugly, and I will literally never wear him. He also got a boss and mythic up at Stealthy Stronghold. He got his cloaking device, which literally makes you go invisible. It's alright. And kind of cool, because it's like the first item they ever added that makes you go invisible. Yet nobody uses it, but that's not the point. Nobody drops there because it's so out of the way to go get. Like, nobody wants to go out of their way to get this mythic, even if it makes you go invisible. You'll get that one person occasionally in a game that does it, but nobody does it. 5 out of 10. Something original next season, please. Epic. And it looks like it's going to be Neymar in the battle pass or as a secret skin. So it's not original, but let's just move on. Predator was awful. Moving on. Next was 15.30. We got 2 new exotic weapons and Mando's Bounty game mode. The new exotics were a burst quad launcher, which would be cool and fun if rockets weren't so difficult to find in the game. And other exotic was a chug cannon. It worked like a bandage bazooka and chug splashes combined, so basically it was a better bandage bazooka. It had 5 charges and was basically infinite health. It's probably one of the best exotics in the game, alongside that incredible exotic Shadow Tracker. Mando's Bounty was an interesting game mode. On day 1, it was the sweatiest game mode ever to exist in the world of Fortnite, because it had that Beskar umbrella locked behind it, and everyone and their nan wanted to unlock it. But once everyone had unlocked it, it became a more chill game mode. I ended up getting 3 wins in it after day 1, and it was just quite fun, really. It was essentially Wick's Bounty, but Mandalorian edition, and I like that. However, the NPCs in this game mode weren't like the NPCs in the normal game. They absolutely aimbot you, and that was super annoying. Mando was definitely the worst, though. The whole 15.30 update is pretty good, and that's a 7 out of 10. We got 15.40 2 weeks later, and it was good even though there was not much. There were no new exotic weapons added, but instead you can now buy up to 5 of each exotic weapon. Could you imagine 5 quad launchers? That would be pretty good if they weren't so damn rare. And by that I mean the rockets. We also saw the return of the flintlock pistol, which was leading up to something later on that we just didn't know about. And I wasn't a huge fan of it when it first came out in Season 8, but I am a fan of it now. I will admit it was fun playing with it again. This update was pretty good, but needed a little bit more, like a new exotic. But the flintlock on its own is pretty good. 7 out of 10. I don't care what you say if I'm not scoring these fairly. The flintlock is just good. It deserves that. Next up was the 15.50 update, and it was a very disappointment. All we got was the rapid fire SMG being unvaulted, and the hand cannon getting vaulted after it replaced the flintlock after a week. And I kind of expected more, if I'm being honest. They were doing well this season. 5 out of 10, expected more. So it looks like there'll be no live event this season, which is a shame. So I guess we will look back at the best part and the worst parts of the season. Let's start with the worst part, because everyone and their nan knows what it is. If the IO guards are not the worst part of the season to you, then what is wrong with you? It's no, they have, I mean, you can disagree, but I just don't know what else you'd say. These things were so annoying. They would just pop up in random places when you just didn't want them to. Not to mention they can aimbot you worse than henchmen. I get storyline and all. I'm really into the Fortnite story. But they were just super annoying, and nobody wants them in the game. John Jones, just get rid of them, please. Hopefully they're not in the next season. I don't see why they would be, which is probably a good thing. But they'll just replace them with another aimbotting AI, which will be even worse than the ones before. So, now what can you do? So, the best part. This is actually difficult, and this one is probably something we will have our own opinions on. But for me, outside of the updates, this is what I'd normally base the best and worst parts off of. Stuff outside the updates, it's got to be the laser beam skin. Yeah, that's how mediocre this season was. But not just the skin by himself, because while it's good and I like it, the tournament that ran alongside it was pretty good. Like, I'm sure a lot of you would be annoyed with me if I said, oh, just the laser beam skin by itself was the best part of the season. The Super Knockback Cup looked fun, even though I didn't play in it. The exotic Flint Knock looks insane, and the cup just looked like a lot of fun. Laser beam and got his own skin, Fresh got his own locker bundle overall. Epica giving it all to their Australian content creators right now, and I'm sure everyone in Australia is loving life. I hope they make the knockback game mode a normal game mode in the future, like they did with Lockie's Pickaxe Frenzy, as that would just be super fun. The whole laser beam icon skin and tournament, including Fresh's locker bundle in that as well, were just really good. And the best part of the season to me. I hope the LTM comes back soon though. Okay, so what was the average this season got? Well, it actually got a 6.4 out of 10, which I don't think accurately describes how well this season was done. It's at least a collaboration out of 10, at least that. So yeah, that's my review of Shout Out to 2 Season 5. I hope you did enjoy the video. Let me know what you thought of this season down below. And that score of 6.4 out of 10, or collaboration out of 10, whatever you want to look at it, isn't as far-fetched as it seems. Only 2 seasons have actually ever got above a 7 on my reviews, and it was season 8 and season 9, I believe. So let me know what you think of season 5 down below. I'll see you in season 6. Peace out.